everybody. I hope you've had a pretty good day so far. Mine's been pretty good, except we had a power outage that put me a bit behind schedule, so that's why we're late today, but that's okay, we still have a good hour. So, we were trying to work on blending cliffs, but we had a nasty issue where in order to find the color for a certain vertex, it depends on its neighbors, which is not something I really want to happen. Specifically this point right here. Right now it has 5 colors we'd have to blend between, but see, if there was a block here, then it'd only be 4 colors. And that's just, I mean, it's fine, but it's a lot of work, and also the like these flat cliffs, we're not going to want to keep these in the final game anyway, so I began thinking, why am I wasting so much time on it? So today we're going to start on a new system. I was going to do this much later for different prettier cliffs. Specifically, they'll be sloped, and how it will work is basically these blending areas will merge into one, and so that way we won't even have to take average colors, which is nice. It'll just happen automatically. But this point will just become a triangle going down to these 2 points, and we won't have to worry about, like, and specifically here, how would this triangle work actually? I guess this point would go to that one, and then this point would go to that one, so it's really no issue at all. That would sort itself out. But of course, we can work into it. But of course, since we won't have these flat points anymore, we don't have to worry about averaging between so many different colors. So let's go ahead and get started. And first of all, what I'm going to do is, a lot of this code is going to be deleted, but I think I'll start by going back to the table of contents and these blend links. Yeah, this was just not a good way to do it. I blame my month-long break for messing up my train of thought. But so I'm going to just change this to I guess block margin length, and this will basically, it's the same thing as the blend length, but it makes more sense because it's going to be like a margin area, and that's where the hexagons will be sloped and they'll blend with their neighbors. Also, I'm going to update that pretty badly drawn neighbor diagram with something in Inkscape, and hopefully we'll just be able to use it for all of our hexagon needs. Okay, Inkscape does not like that at all. That's a little better. I don't know why it froze. Alright, so this for now. I want to draw a hexagon, which I can use easily this tool. Shrink it a bit. Nice thing about of course, these vector graphics is you can zoom in and out as much as you want. It doesn't change the detail in the image at all. So let's red. Turn the saturation up. Fine, and stroke need Okay, and actually the game has hexagons like this. Then we can add in a different color, a different points here. So I'll just go ahead and that's 0 and 1. We'll go ahead and create all these first so we don't have to keep switching between levels. Right, that one's correct. This one I need to change to 2. Okay. So now I need to make the margin. I guess I should create the other hexagons. And explain what I'm going to do here. I'm not gonna worry about making it perfect. So now the hexagons will have this margin between them, and that's where we'll have the slopes. And later on, when we do more complicated things like textures, the textures will also blend there, and for now the color gradients. Let's change this, change some of these colors. I don't know if it's needed so much, but actually maybe they should all be red because we can do the margin a different color. Now we'll want to, oh, let's edit. So this is raw. Okay, so we've got this margin, got the stroke, and I guess I'll just make it light blue. So now we can, whatever we want to name these points in our diagram, we can. Then we'll also have this triangle. I'll make these green. Okay, and so now we can see that every point only ever has to blend with 3 different colors, because at most it would have to do with these neighbors. Actually, and we won't have to do averages at all, because this will just be one hexagon now, and so these points will both be this hexagon's color, and then these 2 points will both be this hexagon's color. Yeah, so that's really nice actually. And then if this was a different altitude, then it should just take care of itself. Right, so yeah, I guess I'll do these labels real quick. Have to add this to each individually. So this is column and row. Behind it, so up. Oh, I know what happened. So it's because I grouped the hexagons to duplicate them all together, so go to each of these and Control Shift G to ungroup. Now copy and paste over here. And again, if I really want to make something nice, I can try and center all these and pick a better font, but I just want something that's a little easier to work with than Paint. Okay, so now we can look here and see. This was the same column, but row plus 1. Down here, it's row minus 1. Column plus 1. There. Oh, there's a double. Column minus 1. And down here is the confused one, just because of the way the hexagon coordinates work. Column plus 1 and row minus 1. And up here is the opposite. I think. Oh no, row plus 1, okay, because yeah, the rows move upwards. That was the opposite, I just got confused. These a bit. Okay, and then later on I can fill in the rest of the margins if I need to, but it gives you a good idea. Down to planning folder, and I'll just name this X diagram. Alright. Now we can say goodbye to this one. Okay, now back to programming. So we have the block margin links, and we'll need to go back into the asset organizer and fix this up. Specifically, add in the good value to the board metrics. So let's just call this margin length. Am I spelling margin right? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say that didn't look right. Table of contents. Okay, and this, yeah, we don't even have to test this anymore because the margin is something outside of the radius. Although, should it? Okay. Right now, there's a few things that use the X radius just as the radius of the map, specifically I think to place the monsters, but we can always update it to use the margin length, so it doesn't really matter what I do. Yeah, I think I'll have the margin. I keep spelling it wrong. I think this would be something that's added on to the hexagon. It makes a bit more sense to me. Okay, so that means that a lot of these things that use the X radius I'm going to need to update. Oh, that was the wrong thing. That's not what I wanted to do either. Mesh generator. Yeah, this is not going to even exist anymore, so I won't worry about that. Okay, and so yeah, all I have to do is load total radius equals metrics X radius plus the margin. In fact, this might be used so often, maybe I should just make a helper function in the board metrics. What do I want to call it though? I'll just go with this for now. Okay. What else? Okay, that was it, I think. So now we're gonna need to update both the collision mesh and the graphics mesh. I guess since we've been working with the graphics mesh, I'll just stick with this for now. First thing we have to do, these points are not going to have this C and D. And also, if we look at the map, we should probably only create a few sides. Because right now, whenever a hexagon or a block is created, or I should say cell, it looks to see if it should also create this cliffs. But now, since it also has to take care of a margin around it, it should just do these three and work. Figure out which three sides it should make so that it tiles correctly. Obviously these ones on the bottom will have to make all 6, but like that. Oh no, it has to be like this, I think. I don't know. So this one would already be made. But it really just has to do these 2 every time. Well, it doesn't really, I mean... Oh no, because at the top wouldn't be made then. Oh, yeah, then it'd be made right here. Okay, yeah, so it can, I think it can just always make these 2 and we'll fill in everything. Oh wait, this one, no, it has to be these. Yeah, so side 1, 2, and 3 it will make every time, and then sides 0 will only be made if it's at the top row, side 0 and 5, and then side 4 will only be made if it's on the leftmost column, and so right here. Okay, well, there's going to be, oh, actually everything goes kind of in a diagonal square the way it works, so we'll figure it out. Actually, we kind of did this with the collision mesh. Yeah, because it only does the first 2, and then the other one's depending on what row it's on. I'll just, we'll see how that works. Anyway, do I need... What points should I have this create? We're going to need all 6 of the normal hexagon points no matter what, but I guess I could go ahead and make the outer one the margin points if needed, because it's not like it's going to take a lot of time, but let's see. Maybe we should, instead of having the structure that stores the points, we could just have a function that creates a certain one, because I don't think we're going to need, like, this whole get cliff thing we can pretty much delete. I think that in general margins will be a lot simpler now. So flat point. Oh yeah, we're not gonna have to do this trigonometry thing either. That work for nothing? Yeah, so all this comes a lot simpler now. Yeah, it's just basically let's get corner direction then multiply by the radius, so I don't even know if I need a function for it. Okay, so let's get rid of that for now. I'll have private, static, vector 3. This will just be a hex points. It will contain the positions for each corner because we're going to need them all. We can save a little bit of work, I think, if we just store all those hexagon points in here. Okay, so hex points I equals position get corner direction times the metrics hex radius, and that's it. Now we need to go and create each triangle. So we basically just add a triangle center and then hex points I plus 1. And of course we've got a modulo 6 so we don't overflow. And then our color. And I think that's pretty much it. Let's still need to get the neighbor color and stuff when we do margins, but let's just see how this looks. It'll just be a bunch of disconnected hexagons, I think. Problems? Oh no, it's just decompiling, or not decompiling, just compiling. Add margin links. Oh, because I need to change this.
Now I've got your power.
Let's make it pretty big. Okay. Oh, I don't generate that array. Not 3, it should be 6. I guess I should move this variable declaration. Kind of messy looking it right there. Okay, so something is not right. Oh, I think it's yeah, this I forgot to add the. That's just the offset, so I have to add it to the center. I did that before. It does expose like one easy way that we could optimize this a little bit, is we'd only generate those offsets once, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Okay, so now we have a bunch of floating hexagons. But everything in the right position, I think. Okay, so now next we gotta make the margins, and let's see. I think we'll always make the first two sides, the 0 and 1. And then we'd only make this one if we're on the first row. And then we'd only make this one if we're on the first row and first column, I think. This one if we're on the first column, and this one if we're on first column. Okay, so that's not too difficult. We'll just got it. So we want to, let's just have a separate make margin function, and we'll pass the side cell index side 0. Then again, we'll make the first one always. Then F. Oh, so we need to know the row now. Oh, am I offline now? I don't know. They'll come back in a second, but it seems like my stream just crashed. At least the dashboard is messing up, but let's just keep going. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, we need to know, I just need to call this position from cell so I can get our row and column. Cell. Layer doesn't matter. So if hex dot row is greater than, or if it equals 0, then we want to make side 2 yeah, because we only want to make it on the bottom, because otherwise it would have been made previously. Or would it? No, because I don't think this side is ever did. Maybe we always need to make these 3. Yeah, that looks... Oh, it's made right here. Oh wait. Yeah, I just... That's because... Yeah, make those 3. We'll check to see if there's any overlaps. Alright, so anyway, on the first row, we would want to make these 2 bottoms. Or this, yeah, this one's always made, so we'd want to make this one if we're on the first row. Then if hex column is 0, we want to make margin 5. That one's easy. And then this one we'll want to make if we're on the first column as well, because there's nothing above it. Okay, so now let's actually do that. And I guess, yeah, we'll just make the triangle to the right of it every time, or clockwise of it, I should say. Let's see. Need this point, which we should pass, I guess. We already have them all. In fact, I think I will just go ahead and calculate. I was gonna say we can pre-calculate the directions, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not sure what's going on with my stream, but hopefully, yeah, it says I just dropped some frames, but it looks like I'm back now. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just not gonna worry about trying to optimize too much right now. It's not worth it. And also, I'm not going to worry about the colors of these margins, they'll just be white. Okay, so add quad. So first one we've got here. That's just first two. Actually, no, the first. That, and then the second one is applying by the total radius, or adding the margin radius. Let's see. Vector through direction is hex get. Oh no, it's not the. Okay, so we need to know the corner direction to get this, but then the neighbor direction to get this one. This will be A. Vector. Corner B is hex position, get corner direction, side +1. Odd 6, and that again, that's just loop back around so we don't overflow the array. And we'll need to get our center position. I already have that. That's right. Yeah, I could easily just pass this, but again, I'm just not going to try to optimize right now. Okay, so, and then we need vector 3. Neighbor direction is expansion.get neighbor direction, and the neighbor also corresponds to the side, so that is fine. We can do better. We don't need the direction. We could just get neighbor offset, and we can go ahead and add by the margin size. Here we can add the center and multiply by the x radius. Okay, now that we've got all the preparation out of the way, first one is the corner, and then we have corner A plus the neighbor offset, and then B plus neighbor offset, and again I'm just going to go with white. I guess to make sure it's blending okay, let's have gray. And then for the triangle, so for the triangle we'll need corner B, and then it's just corner B plus neighbor offset, and then to get this neighbor we'll have to calculate the neighbor offset for that one, which is not difficult. B. Oh yeah, I need to make sure it's wound clockwise, so if I start here, I've got to go there. That's what I was going to do. Plus the neighbor offset, and then plus x math get wrong thing. Get direction side plus 1 modulo 6, and then the colors. Let's do this color white, color gray, and then green, I guess. No, let's do something that's not in any of the prototype colors. Okay. Yeah, something is really affecting my connection right now. I don't know what. But I apologize for the dropped frames. The weather is just really horrible right now, so that could be it. But let's see how this looks. Okay, so obviously we're missing. Okay, well, first of all, the offsets are wrong, but one good thing about this is that we can see. Yeah, I must have like doubled up on the margin. But one good thing about this is that we can see where we have too many, or we've doubled up on creating the margin meshes. Okay, so let's see. I mean, it looks like it's working right, but it looks like the only. Oh yeah, these spaces are actually fine, but this triangle is going to double up. So actually, we don't always want to make the triangles, it looks like. And also, this is doubling up. I must have done the math wrong. So if column equals 0, it should make side 4, which is right here. Oh. Yeah, I did do this wrong, so that's 3, 4, 5. Look at that, and then I'm going to need to change the logic so I can turn on or off the triangle. Okay, so now I don't see any overlapping rectangles, but again, it's just this triangle right there. Okay, so I basically just don't need to make the triangle for side 2 ever unless we're on the bottom. Okay. I could have this margin triangle be a separate function, which I might do if I ever like consolidate all of these values, but since we've already calculated most of these corners, I think I'll just have this be an if statement. So true, true, then only if my position dot column is row. Actually, it's a row, I think. kind of surprised that the triangles overlap. Oh, actually... Oh no, that's triangle that's being made. I was gonna say maybe it's because the triangle that should always be created should be the one beforehand, but no, this looks fine. Go to the canvas. Better. Okay, there's an overlap here, so we'll only make this if we're on the first column. And then this needs to be made if it's on the last row. That's side 6. Or 5, I should say. So if my position dot column equals 0 or dot row 0. And what was, I've forgotten what the extra triangle was. It still didn't do it. Oh, it's because it's the last row, but let's look. Okay, so it's this column, or this triangle is extra, and that's side 3, and so it only needs to be made if it's on the first column. Wait, oh, I think I have a number of rows function. Board. Your size divided by board. Row size minus 1. Last row. That looks good. If there's any overlaps. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so now I'm going to try to squish these together, and I guess we should look at the blending real quick too. Basically, it blends to gray as it goes outward, and then the third point, which is at the clockwise neighbor, is blue. Right now they don't take altitude into account, but we'll fix that. First I want to get them close to each other. Cool. This total radius. Okay, I think it's because it's like adding the, because it's a radius, it's on both sides, but really it this be the margin divided by 2. Okay, that looks better. But there's some fighting. Okay, the positions are not exactly right. What's going on? so we've got radius, margin, length. It must be... Oh, well this corner B... That's the problem because I don't multiply by the margin length, which is one issue there, but I think we're lucky because of margin length it's actually 1. I guess let's look. I don't think this is the issue, but I'm gonna make sure that that doesn't cause any other problems. Okay, so yeah, it still looks fine, but we're still having overlap. Could it surprise that the issue? I think it has to do something with this code. Look closer at it and see if I can notice any patterns. And so it's basically there's overlap on all sides and it seems to be an even overlap, so it's like the radius is too small. Wonder if I used the wrong value somewhere. If I make one like much larger than the other, will that like make the problem worse or better, I wonder? Or if it'll stay the same. Seems to have gotten worse, so it's must be proportional to the margin radius. That looks ridiculous, by the way. I use the right margin length divided by 2. That's like the effective radius because the margin goes in between 2 hexagons, so the total radius of a hexagon with the margin divided by 2. I should just get rid of this. Basically the same thing, but what happens if I just substitute this for the old radius? This is how it was before. Canvas now. Load. So now, okay, it's definitely something to do with the radius because now, or the margin, because everything is lined up perfectly like it used to. Have the margin on top that are overlapping. I don't really know why just adding this margin length would mess it up, because we're just adding on more radius. Maybe the problem is actually here in the graphics generator. Radius margin. Margin length should be the same on all of them, I think. I'm surprised why issue. I don't think it's this neighbor direction, because the problem is not. Oh, I guess it. Maybe I can't just multiply by the margin length. I don't. Oh, or should it be? No, it's the total margin distance we're trying to bridge across. Another thing we could do is, if we get the neighbor index and then just get its center and calculate its corner, which I guess would be fine, because we're going to have to get the neighbor's color later anyway. And my position plus X position. Did I do this before? Okay, yeah, this is the axis vector. And the vector 3 neighbor center is the same hex math. World, my position, or no, it's neighbor position. Database. Metrics. I really don't. Maybe it's just floating point error or something, because I would have figured that this would have been equivalent, but maybe the problem is in this function here. All it does is get cosine and sine. It's the same, except we add 30 to rotate it slightly. I don't know. Let's just test this and maybe we'll get an answer. This will be pretty inefficient now, but so neighbor A equals center I want to do. Neighbor B is the same thing, except the neighbor center. Won't even have this anymore, but I guess I'll keep it in case I have to change this. And then the triangle I just won't create for now, because we'd have to figure out another neighbor. Did I do that right? Okay, yeah, I read that as center for some reason. that's not correct. What in the world could be causing that problem? Oh, I need to flip these sides around because they have to be the opposite. Which is, you just add 3 to get the opposite side. Go to modulo again, and so here it would be add 4. Weird. Getting... Okay, so somehow we made it double-sided now. Must have put in a wrong point. I'm really confused on how that happened. Well, I guess let's... Did it even match up? Yeah, they did. For some reason the other side... Oh, okay, so it's just wound wrong. But I thought that was the whole point of the add quad. This doesn't make a lot of sense, but if I flip these, will it be happy? I don't understand why they're flipping around like that because they worked fine when that was for long. Try setting this to the neighbor center and see what happens. Okay, so the arguments, you're getting them wrong. Bottom left, top left, bottom right, top right. Let's see, if you look up on this start, maybe I should just have them clockwise instead of trying to do bottom left, bottom right. Winding always gives me trouble. So if I want to do it clockwise then this would be neighbor B and corner B. A shift, not control. Okay, so how this would really go is we want to add a triangle from A, B, C, and then A, C, D. Yeah, 'cause that's clockwise. And I'm just going to get rid of this function altogether. Okay, maybe so I can better see the winding here, let's just red and blue, yellow, and green. Yeah, this will look not too good, but I'll be able to see what each corner corresponds to. It's still being a little weird. This is red, yellow, green. So this is the second triangle. Is it like double-sided? That doesn't make any sense. It's not like the other one. It's not like the other triangle is a different shape. Or is the other side that we're missing? No, they're double-sided. But I'm not passing in the same point. And this is 3 and 4. Maybe this should just be +2. Maybe that was the issue. I think, yeah, now that I think about it. Yeah, because here, this one goes to the opposite. Oh, right, so this one should go to the opposite +1. Okay. I just need to look at my trusty diagram. And so this one would actually go to the opposite, which is 3. Okay. Well, that's okay. We fixed the add quad, made it a little bit more easy to use. Okay, there we go. So I'd like to do the triangle real quick. And so for the triangle we need to get one more neighbor. This will I'll just call this the other. And so the other center. And this is just the clockwise side, so it's side plus divided by 6. Okay, so it's corner B and then neighbor B, yeah. And then want to get our diagram. So if we start at 0, we want to get 5, so that's the opposite. +2 are just -1, so +5. Your center plus hit direction side +5. And I'll do red, yellow. Guess I should reorder these so that's okay, so let's see if this works. Hopefully it will the first try. And we'll be ready to do altitudes next week, or not next week, tomorrow. No, is it? Yeah, it's backwards and shape is wrong. So I need. I probably just got the point wrong. Oh right, I said. Actually, this was the problem. I did neighbor position. It should be the other position. Let's do. Up some variables with that. Although, no, we will need this position later because we'll need to know the prototype for its actual color. Exactly. What is going on here? The blue point. Third one. The other center plus the friction. Oh right, this should be -1 or +5 because we want to get, or sorry, it should be +2. Getting confusing because we want, if we're at this side, this is. Oh wait, no, +1 was right. Yeah, because this is +0 neighbor, and then this +1 clockwise. Okay, so what is going on? We want to go to this neighbor, and we want to get the side. So we're on side 0. Now we want to get the 0.5, which is 1 counterclockwise, which is the same as adding 5. Right here. Supposes, yeah, my position plus the axis vector margin. Oh, that's the issue. It should be hex radius, not margin length. That's left over before. Okay, there we go. Good to me now. Look here, you can see no overlapping. And if I change it to just be a wireframe, there's no overlaps. Perfect. Okay, so what else do we need to do here? We need to altitudes. Well, first we have to do and color blending, margin, slope. Oh yeah, and then we need to update collision mesh. For new margin pattern. Right now, if we look at it, it's still using the old. Where even is it? Oh, right here. Collision mesh. And it's. Oh, it actually still works pretty well, but it needs less updating than I might think. So, of course, we're not going to have these flat corners anymore. So, I'm going to have to add slopes. Yeah, I'd like to be able to keep as little polygons as I can. But since the slopes actually are geometry, I definitely want to have slopes and not these flat cliffs. So we'll have to add some points here at least. But we can... Okay, but anyway, I think that's it for me tonight. Thanks everybody for coming by and watching, and sorry I was a bit late. We'll finish this up tomorrow. And if you missed any of this stream or any previous ones and you want to catch up, check out my YouTube channel. And if you want to be notified when I go live, feel free to follow me here on Twitch or on Twitter. I will tweet there. Also, we have a Discord channel if you'd like to chat with me anytime during the day. Really appreciate you to join that. You can get links to any of those by typing !Discord or YouTube or whatever and chat, or by looking in my channel and video description. And yeah, that's it. Thanks everybody again for coming and watching, and I hope you have a great night. Bye bye.